A very good evening to you and welcome to tonight's edition of Primetime News, coming to you live from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. My name is Krishan Devasagaya.
And I'm Monel Kamaratunga. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
The headlines on Newsfirst. India's Education Minister resigns, gives into demands by young protesters. Proposal to extend the retirement age of judges reaches its final stage of drafting. Guidelines for appointing President's Council revised. The no-confidence motion only shattered the opposition's own credibility, says Deputy Minister Prasanna Gunasena. We knew we would lose from the start. A response from the SJB.
And in your top story tonight, we cross over to neighboring India. Now, India's youth-led Cockroach Janata Party has called off its protest hours after the resignation of India's Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. The announcement came in a joint government CJP press conference held this evening. Stevin Machado is ready to bring you the latest on this. Stevin.
Yes, thank you, Krishan and Onelka. Now, yes, the Cockroach Janata Party, or the youth-led India's Cockroach Janata Party, today called off its protest with immediate effect and asked supporters at the Delhi's Jantar Mantar to return home. Now, the announcement came in a joint government CJP press conference following the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan as Union Education Minister. Now, his resignation was the CJP's co-demand over the NEET paper leak. In a two-page resignation letter, Pradhan defended the government's response to the exam crisis, expressed gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and said his decision was guided by one priority, ensuring that the future of students does not get caught in prolonged political and legal battles. Let's take a look.
The CJP's movement has persuaded one of India's most powerful political leaders, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, to concede to one of its core demands after weeks of silence. It is something even India's opposition parties have rarely managed to achieve over the past 12 years. After meeting federal ministers, CJP spokesperson Saurav Das said the government had accepted all of the group's demands. They included the resignation of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, 10 million Indian rupees in compensation for the families of people who allegedly died by suicide after the exam paper leak, and no legal action against those who joined the protest. Speaking at a press conference, Das said the group was withdrawing the protest in good faith and added that it had shared a draft of its written guarantee with the government, which would respond by Tuesday. Dharmendra Pradhan announced his resignation on X earlier today, just as police fired tear gas to scatter the protesters in New Delhi, hours before their leaders were set to hold another round of talks with federal ministers. Pradhan said in his post, quote, "Considering the situation that has arisen at Jantar Mantar and across the country so that anti-national forces do not take advantage of this situation, I have sent my resignation letter to the Prime Minister. I deeply respect the aspirations, feelings and legitimate expectations of the country's youth." Unquote.
The visuals you just watched are footage from the Trinex 26 naval exercise, which was held in the Sea of Sri Lanka Maritime Zone in Trincomalee. Now, today marks the final day of the 2026 Trincomalee naval exercise.
The sea phase of this naval exercise conducted in the eastern coastal waters was monitored yesterday by the Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Damien Fernando.
The sea phase of the Trincomalee Naval Exercise 2026 held in the eastern waters of the Sea of Sri Lanka included various naval exercises such as ship maneuvering, replenishment at sea, maritime boarding, inspection and seizure exercises. Here is how the maritime air inspection and seizure exercises as well as helicopter landing exercises on ships were carried out. The fleet also performed a traditional salute to the commander of the fleet. Sri Lanka Navy vessels including the SLNS Vijayabahu, Samudra Vijaya, Sidurala, Sagara, Samudra, Nandimitra, Shakti, Edithara 2, Ranarisi and Vikrama 2, alongside various naval crafts and members of the Navy's Special Boat Squadron participated in this naval exercise. The Sri Lanka Coast Guard ships CG Jayasagara and CG 407 fast patrol crafts also joined the exercise. Representing the Sri Lanka Air Force Helicopter Squadron, Bell 412 and Bell 212 aircraft contributed to the success of the mission. In a historic first during this exercise, a drone locally manufactured by the Sri Lanka Navy was successfully launched from a vessel at sea and safely recovered back onto the same ship.
Meanwhile, President Anurakumara Dissanayaka has instructed the relevant authorities to formulate a program to allocate underutilized land to Sri Lankan migrant workers returning home upon the completion of their overseas employment.
The President issued these instructions during a discussion to review the budget progress of the Ministry of Plantation and Community Infrastructure.
The President's Media Division stated that the meeting reviewed key plantation sector initiatives being implemented under capital allocations worth 1,081 million rupees, including the Plantation Land Surveying Program, the Coconut Disease Control and Eradication Program, the Kapruka Fund, programs to increase coconut production, and the Northern Coconut Triangle Program. The President also reviewed the progress of infrastructure development programs in the plantation sector and stressed the importance of completing the project to construct 10,000 houses for the Malayagam community within the stipulated timeframe and handing them over to the beneficiaries. In addition, the President inquired into the progress of the relief program aimed at supporting the replanting of plantation crops such as tea, coconut and rubber that were damaged by Cyclone Ditwa.
According to sources at the Ministry of Justice, the preparation of the proposal on the extension of the retirement age of judges of the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court has reached its final stage. Accordingly, the proposal is expected to be submitted to the Cabinet in the near future. Meanwhile, at the Cabinet Decisions media briefing held on the 21st of July, Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa stated that a report had been called for from the Ministry of Justice regarding the proposal to extend the retirement age of judges. Now, the Bar Association of Sri Lanka emphasizes that constitutionally significant amendments such as extending the retirement age of judges should be introduced following a broad and transparent process. Issuing a statement in a response to a comment made in Parliament yesterday by National People's Power Member of Parliament Asitha Niroshana regarding the President of the Bar Association. Now, in the statement, the BASL emphasized that the said false statement and baseless was an attempt to mislead the public by abusing parliamentary privileges.
The Bar Association of Sri Lanka has issued a statement in response to a statement made in Parliament yesterday by National People's Power Member of Parliament Asitha Niroshana Egodavithana. This was the statement made by the MP yesterday during the debate on the no confidence motion against the Minister of Justice.
We need experienced judges. Those who are fearful about extending their tenure are simply worried that some justice will actually be delivered to the people of this country through the judicial process. Furthermore, a small group, including the president of our Bar Association, is expressing views against this process. Therefore, what we have to say is that last Thursday, Rajiv Amarasuriya, the president of the Bar Association, had a discussion with Sajid Premadasa and agreed with him. As far as we know, when the upcoming provincial council election is held, Sajid Premadasa promised Rajiv Amarasuriya the chief ministerial candidacy for the Western Provincial Council if he helps play this match. Honourable Deputy Speaker, such political deals are going on.
What is the Bar Association's response to the allegations raised by the MP? The Bar Association states that these allegations are completely false, baseless and made with malicious intent. The statement adds that cheap political attacks launched against the BASL will not succeed. They further point out that Sri Lanka's legal community stands united and is ready to face any challenge directed at its independence and integrity. The Bar Association states that such constitutionally significant amendments should only be introduced when there is a demonstrable institutional necessity, transparent public justification, and broad and defensible stakeholder consultation. The association emphasizes that public confidence in constitutional governance depends upon the process adopted as much as the substance of the amendment itself. In the statement, the BASL challenges Member of Parliament Asitha Niroshana Egudavitanage to repeat the said false utterance outside Parliament without the cover of parliamentary privilege so that due legal consequences can follow.
Meanwhile, the Samagi Janabalawegya says that the no confidence motion against the Minister of Justice was brought with the knowledge that it would be defeated. Meanwhile, the ruling party states that yesterday's parliamentary voting results reveal a lack of trust in the party that brought forward the vote of no confidence.
We knew very well that we couldn't defeat the government with this vote of no confidence right now. So why did we bring this no confidence motion? A barbaric attack took place in Negombo. We brought the vote of no confidence to draw the country's attention to this and talk about it. Not because we thought we could win. We are not fools.
Several parties expressed their opinions today regarding the defeat of the vote of no confidence brought by the opposition against the Minister of Justice and National Integration, Attorney-at-Law Harshana Nanayakara, by a majority of 116 votes.
We clearly see this as a vote of no confidence brought against the leader of the opposition himself. What has clearly happened here is that it is not the Minister of Justice whose confidence has been broken. Rather, it is the confidence of the opposition that brought the motion which has been shattered, because otherwise, if opposition MPs who signed a no confidence motion are not present to vote for it, what that reflects to us is that the trust has been broken either in the leader of the opposition or among the opposition members themselves. By bringing in a vote of no confidence, it is the opposition's own confidence that has been lost. They are now losing the little credibility they had left for themselves. Therefore, this no confidence motion has boomeranged on the leader of the opposition. What happened there was essentially a no confidence motion that could cost the opposition leader his position. There's a slight change you can see in their faces, isn't it? You can see a little bit of fear, panic and even some deep shock. When the judicial system becomes independent, they get upset, which suggests that deep down in their hearts, they know the wrongs they have committed. Therefore, I believe they must be feeling that the time to face punishment for their misdeeds is drawing near.
Comments were also made today regarding the opposition meeting convened by opposition leader Sashith Premadasa upon the request of Namal Rajapaksa.
What I see here is an attempt by Ranil Wickremesinghe to play the boss and make Sajith his subordinate once again. In the very first discussion, Ranil gives instructions and Sajith took notes. Ranil Wickremesinghe has acquired a new secretary without having to spend any money. Given Ranil Wickremesinghe's political experience, he asserted his dominance to show he is the boss, pushing Sajith down to just being the second in command. If you make a list of those who stepped outside and gave interviews and write down their court hearing dates alongside it, there is no one there without a court case. Everyone has cases. They are either out on bail or under suspicion.
At a public rally of the Sri Lanka Potujana Peramana held yesterday in Walpola Jayala, views were expressed regarding the judiciary, current court cases and the extension of the retirement age of judges.
We can see that Namal Rajapaksa will not bow his head to this ongoing state terrorism and the terrorism of this government. Therefore, we will not give up this fight until you reach the level of presidency in 2029. It seems this Chief Justice needs to remain in the Supreme Court so that the court cases involving the Rajapaksas in Parliament can be heard quickly. This isn't me saying this, it's a JVP parliamentarian. Within Parliament, the core message in every governing party members and minister's speech is that if repression is to be implemented, this particular bill must be introduced. Right now, if the government thinks that they want to bring it, we are telling the government, go for a referendum. Give the power to the people. Give the people the opportunity. We challenge you.
Here is the perspective of the left centre regarding the parties expressing their views on the independence of the judiciary.
If we were to list out all the court cases piled up against Namal Rajapaksa, I think there is a whole queue of them. A case like the Krish case is currently being heard. It's not just Namal Rajapaksa's issue. The entire family, all 5 of them, will be in 4 or 5 different prisons within the next month or 2. Remember that. The uncles even have warrants out for them. Now they are coming around trembling, begging not to have the next uncle arrested. That sweep is about to unfold. After that, the uncle's children. Now, if you take the people who have come here claiming to make the judiciary independent, 90% of the people who have arrived are those who have faced judicial cases themselves. That is the problem. They are people who have been accused and have faced or are facing judicial action against them. Now, should we accept what these people are saying? Where is the morality in that? Where is the ethical standing? All these people who have cases pending against them, people standing before a judicial process and people subjected to a judicial process. Now, when these accused individuals who are subjected to that judicial process come and say that the judiciary is not independent, who in this country is going to accept that?
Now, an extraordinary Gazette notification has been issued revising the guidelines for the appointment of President's councils. Accordingly, attorneys who have not practiced as an attorney at law of the Supreme Court for a period of 20 years cannot be appointed as a President's Counsel. Meanwhile, the calling for applications for the appointment of new President's Counsel has commenced. Applications can be submitted until the 31st of July.
Journey into the past with 19th century views of Ceylon, a rare exhibition featuring historic artworks by renowned British artists, presented by the George Keat Foundation in partnership with the British High Commission Colombo. Experience this remarkable collection at Westminster House on the 31st of July and 1st of August. Register today at georgekeatfoundation.com.
Welcome back to the news.
Today marks 5 years since the departure of a leader who shaped leaders.
Yes, today we commemorate the legacy of the late Mr. R. Raja Mahendran, the former chairman of the Capital Maharaja Group. He was a benevolent and exceptional leader who rendered an invaluable service to Sri Lanka across multiple fields. Now, several religious observances were held at multiple locations today in remembrance of the late Mr. R. Raja Mahendran. Let's take a look. Commemorative programs and various religious observances were held yesterday as well as today, honouring the memory of the late Mr. R. Mahendran, an exceptional leader who rendered an invaluable service to Sri Lanka across multiple fields. A minute's silence was observed at the Matale District Secretariat to pay tribute to the late Mr. R. Mahendran, the former chairman of the Capital Maharaja Group and founder of the Gammada movement, on his 5th death anniversary. Matale District Secretary Prasanna Madanayaka, Commissioner General of Agrarian Development Dhammika Ranatunga, Commissioner of Agrarian Development Chaminda Ekanayaka, Matale District Deputy Commissioner of Agrarian Development Rohan Dasanayaka, National Apprentice and Industrial Training Authority District Manager Udeni Ilankun, Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Group and leader of the Gammada movement Shevan Daniel, along with many other Gammada representatives and a large gathering of local residents participated in this event. An all-night Pirit chanting ceremony organised by Sri Lanka Private Limited in memory of the late Mr. R. Mahendran was held yesterday. It took place at the Mahabodhi Agrashravaka Mahaviharaya in Maligakanda, Colombo. The Pirit chanting ceremony was held under the patronage of the Mahasangha, led by the President of the Sri Lanka Mahabodhi Society and Chief Sanganayaka of Japan, the Most Venerable Banagala Upatissa Thero, followed by an almsgiving for the Mahasangha this morning. Group Director and Chief Operating Officer of the Capital Maharaja Group, S.C. Veerasekara, along with the executives of Sri Lanka Private Limited and other officials, participated in this occasion. Another almsgiving organised to honour the memory of the former chairman was held today at the Depanama Studio Complex in Pannipitiya. Wasantha Pradeep Masinghage, Director of the Depanama Broadcasting Centre, were among those who participated in this occasion. A blood donation camp organised in memory of the late Mr. R. Mahendran was held today at the Sri Sudarshanaramiya Purana Mahaviharaya in Nadungahena, Valiveria. It was organised by the Apirana Youth Club and the Gampaha branch of the Red Cross Society. A Bodhi Puja program commemorating the death anniversary of the former chairman was held at the Unapana temple in Uvaparanagama. It was organised by the Gammada Savya organisation. Another meritorious act organised by the Gammada Savya organisation was held today at the Yatiyantota Ganadevi Kovil. A Bodhi Puja on the occasion of the former chairman's death anniversary was held at the Sri Suvishuddharamya temple in Vavala Deyandara. This was held under the guidance of the Venerable Parapamulle Bakula Thero. Another meritorious program organised for the death anniversary of the former chairman was held at the Dhammavijaya temple in Kavantisapura Tissamaharama. It was organised by Janaseta Peramuna leader Venerable Batramulle Seelaratana Thero.
A foreign national in possession of a stock of cocaine worth nearly 110 million rupees has been arrested. The individual was arrested by the Customs Narcotics Control Unit at the Bandaranaike International Airport. Sri Lanka Customs stated that the suspect is a 79-year-old Spanish agricultural engineer. Arriving in the country on the 22nd from Sierra Leone via Addis Ababa and Doha, 4 parcels of cocaine meticulously concealed within 2 file holders were discovered during an inspection of one of his bags. The arrested stock of cocaine weighs 2 kilograms and 198 grams with an estimated street value of 109.9 million rupees. The customs added that preliminary investigations into the incident have been launched and the stock of narcotics is scheduled to be handed over to the Police Narcotics Bureau for further investigation.
Meanwhile, a stock of over 99 kilograms of heroin was destroyed today at the Laktawatha incinerator in Vanathaviluwa, Putlam. The destruction was carried out following the conclusion of court proceedings at the Maravila Magistrates Court regarding the narcotics haul seized by the Police Narcotics Bureau.
The number of dengue cases reported in the country thus far this year has risen to 80,905. The National Dengue Control Unit states that 61 people have died due to dengue this year.
The number of dengue patients reported during the past 24 days of this month is 25,530. While resting in bed, especially resting under a mosquito net, even during the daytime, you can reduce the probability of other people in the house contracting the disease. Meanwhile, specialist physician Dr. Pradeep Ratnasekara, director of the Lady Ridgeway Hospital for Children, states that if children have a fever lasting for more than 24 hours, they should seek medical advice immediately.
When coming to the hospital, please bring the barcode card containing your baby's designated personal health number, which we can call the PHN. Also, bring the child health development record. Along with that, bring all clinical record books related to your child. If children receiving long-term treatment have diagnostic cards, please bring them to the hospital when bringing the child. Additionally, if there are records regarding allergies your child has to food or medicine, bring them along. Or if you know that your child has an allergy to something, inform the doctor regarding those matters.
In world news, we now take a look at the conflict in the Middle East.
Saudi Arabia launches strikes on Yemen's Houthi-led city of Hodeidah in the latest escalation during the regional war between the United States and Iran.
Now, US President Donald Trump says dialogue between Washington and Tehran continues and a threatened massive attack may be unnecessary, although the United States remains locked and loaded.
Saudi Arabia has launched strikes on Yemen's Houthi-held city of Hodeidah. The group's foreign ministry has said in the latest escalation of the conflict amid the regional war between the United States and Iran. The ministry warned that the attack late on Friday will prove costly for Riyadh, suggesting that the group will respond to the strikes. The Houthi-affiliated Al Masirah TV said the strikes targeted facilities belonging to the Telecommunications Authority, and the outlet also reported strikes in the Comoran Island. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump says that the Iranians are in talks with the United States and that he is willing to listen.
What we have is the territorial sea that extends to 12 nautical miles from the baseline, what you said, the coastline. That is correct. And you have what we call the innocent passage regime. So the passage must be innocent.
A reverse osmosis water purification system for Digamandala Primary School, Ampara. A promise of a healthier tomorrow. Gamnatha, for the people, by the people.
Welcome back. Now from rugby to tennis to some new sports entertainment for all Sri Lankans.
We now cross over to Omitra Bekun for your latest updates.
Thank you, Anilka and Krisha. Now, taking a look at your sports news for tonight. For sports enthusiasts across Sri Lanka, the thrill of the Australian Football League will make its milestone free-to-air television debut, bringing one of the globe's fastest and toughest team sports straight to your screen.
St Kilda get there in the end by 14 points. People aren't going to request DVDs of this game.
I really liked the first half, obviously. Thought around the ball we were really strong, so we thought we squeezed around pretty well, took their marks off and took their game off them a fair bit.
Driving ball towards Hartford. Oliver goes hard in the footy. Cameron's down behind play. Left shoulder for Jeremy Cameron does not look good. They've beaten Geelong. Coming from the clouds.
Get ready for adrenaline-pumping action featuring high-impact tackles, towering marks and non-stop athletic skill every single week. Catch the excitement completely free on TV1 every Sunday night at 9:45 p.m. No subscription barriers, just pure sporting entertainment for lifelong fans and first-time viewers alike. Dive into the ultimate showcase of speed, skill and endurance that only the Australian Football League can deliver. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9:45 p.m. to catch all the action live on TV1.
A workshop on building an inclusive health future in Sri Lanka for persons with intellectual disabilities was held in Colombo yesterday.
A workshop on building an inclusive health future in Sri Lanka for persons with intellectual disabilities, organised by Special Olympics Asia Pacific, explored the health challenges faced by such individuals as well as the practical solutions for creating more inclusive health systems. Anna Marie Hill, Chief of Health Operations of Special Olympics International, highlighted the severe health disparities faced by individuals with intellectual and development disabilities who die 16 to 20 years sooner than the general population, mostly from preventable causes.
Many individuals with intellectual disabilities really struggle to access healthcare. And I don't necessarily mean that struggle to access it. It's there, it's often free of charge. Many of the barriers are removed, but sometimes when they're getting through the door, they're not getting the same level of care that they need. Sometimes the appointments aren't long enough, maybe the healthcare provider hasn't been trained to meet their needs, maybe they're struggling with communication. There are a myriad of barriers that are created unintentionally in many cases for this population, and it results in very significant health disparities.
Deepak Natali, President and Managing Director of Special Olympics Asia Pacific, spoke on the main mission of Special Olympics and the impact the organisation wishes to have on the community.
So, Special Olympics, in that regard, our mission really focuses on providing not just a once-in-a-while sports event, but year-round sports training as well as competition for people with intellectual disabilities. It's about giving them opportunities to develop physical fitness, demonstrate courage and to experience joy. And it's also, therefore, about very much trying to make sure that they participate in sharing gifts, skills and friendship with other people. And with that, our activities really do want to focus on how we can take someone who's been excluded and isolated, give them the opportunity to develop themselves, to really focus on how not just sport, but play, engagement and being around other people can have an influence on their lives, how that can have an impact in turn on their health and well-being. For us, by looking at sport as a catalyst for inclusive health, inclusive education and better access to employment, we create a society which really is inclusive.
Participants of the workshop took part in various physical activities under the guidance of trained professionals.
One of the most thrilling encounters in the history of inter-school rugby came to an end today. Led by Shanalta of Trinity College Candia, secured victory in the 80th annual Rugby Shield rugby encounter against Royal College Colombo. They achieved this by winning both legs of this year's historic contest. Trinity College Candia continues to remain unbeaten in the current rugby season.
Trinity Trinity College Kandy entered today's encounter with a 23-point advantage. In the first leg held in Colombo, Trinity College secured a commanding 33-10 victory over Royal College. The second leg of the 80th Bradby Shield encounter was held today at the Trinity College Rugby Stadium in Kandy. The match was played under the patronage of Eric Rolls, captain of the 1960 Trinity College rugby team, and the school's current principal, Reverend Father Aralia Jayasundara. In the first half, Trinity College scored 13 points through a try, a conversion and 2 successful penalties. Royal College failed to score any points during the opening half. Royal College opened the second half strongly, scoring a try early on but failed to convert it. Breaking through Royal College's defensive line, Trinity College continued their dominance, adding 26 points in the second half to seal victory. Royal College managed to score only 10 points by the second half. During the match, Trinity College scored 5 tries, 4 conversions and 2 successful penalties. Royal College scored only 2 tries. Trinity College secured a comfortable 39-10 victory in the second leg. With the completion of both legs, Trinity College Kandy won the 80th Bradby Shield encounter with an aggregate score of 72-20. For this year's Bradby Shield encounter, Yes 101 served as the official radio partner for both participating teams, Royal College Colombo and Trinity College Kandy.
Now moving on to some news from the tennis arena. The Up-Ranking Tennis Tournament 2026 began today. The event will continue till the 2nd of August 2026 at the Sri Lanka Tennis Association and the Women's International Club. Stay tuned to Newsfirst for the latest details on this tournament and more. Now in more local news, the Gum at the Rebuild initiative, which aims at uplifting people affected by Cyclone Ditwa, took another step today.
The initiative, specifically designed to provide targeted support to farming communities, is being implemented with the full support of Australia's Minderoo Foundation.
The third step taken by Gum at the for a country rising again after Cyclone Ditwa. Gum at the Rebuild. Gum at the Rebuild is being implemented with the aim of uplifting the lives of disaster-affected people by enhancing their vocational skills. Yesterday, special training programs were conducted at the Mahendran Technical College under fields such as masonry, carpentry, electrical work, metal fabrication, plumbing and garment design. This is a joint initiative by the National Apprentice and Industrial Training Authority, the Department of Technical Education and Training and Gum at the. The certificate awarding and industrial equipment distribution ceremony for those who received training yesterday was held today at the Mahendran District Secretariat. Leader of the Gum at the movement, Sivan Daniel, also engaged in a discussion with the people of several surrounding villages. The program commenced with the participation of a group including Mahendran District Secretary Prasanna Madanayaka, Commissioner General of Agrarian Development Dhammika Ranatunga, Commissioner of Agrarian Development Shaminda Ekanayaka, Mahendran District Deputy Commissioner of Agrarian Development Rohan Dasanayaka, District Manager of the National Apprentice and Industrial Training Authority Udeni Ilankon, and Gum at the Senior Member Priyantha Vijay-Singha. The Gum at the Rebuild initiative took another step forward today. Before even 24 hours had passed since Cyclone Ditwa, the Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra was launched, standing as a strength to our own people. Through that, emergency relief services were carried out for several days. The next step was to uplift the people who had been affected. That is why Gum at the Care and Dare was launched with the contribution of Australia's Minderoo Foundation. Starting from Kotmale, the Gum at the Care and Dare initiative provided support to the people rising back up, covering all affected districts. The third step taken by Gum at the on behalf of a country rising again after Cyclone Ditwa, Gum at the Rebuild. The second phase of Gum at the Rebuild, the national campaign to restore farmlands damaged by Cyclone Ditwa, was launched today. Gum at the is implementing this in collaboration with the Department of Agrarian Development. The relevant memoranda of understanding were exchanged today by the leader of the Gum at the movement, Sivan Daniel, and the Commissioner General of Agrarian Development, Dhammika Ranatunga. Under the national campaign to restore farmlands, 40 projects are scheduled to be implemented in the Kandy, Matale, Nuwara and Paduli districts. The funds allocated for a single project is 1 million rupees. Under this initiative, essential agricultural equipment kits are also scheduled to be provided to 300 selected farming families.
We have a huge amount of work to do to rebuild the impact on agricultural activity. It is to strengthen that action plan that today this Gum at the program is also joining in. We're especially thankful for the strength provided to us by this Gum at the team joining hands with our department to overcome this challenge. Through this program, a great contribution is being made to the country's National Production Action Plan. Through these 40 projects, there is a contribution to increase our production.
රටේ ජාතික නිෂ්පාදන වැඩපිළිවෙලට ලොකු දායකත්වයක් දෙන්න. මේ ව්‍යාපෘති 40 තුලින් අපේ නිෂ්පාදනය වැඩි කරන්න දායකත්වයක් සපයනු ලබනවා. ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ ජීවිත ශක්තිමත් කරන්න.
To strengthen your lives, the work being done together with the Commissioner of Agrarian Services and his officers, closely analyzing how the damage from the disaster affected human lives, trying to provide relief to every necessary place. As a media institution providing support for that, I express my grateful thanks on behalf of all of us.
Why did Gum at the launch this national initiative to redevelop agrarian lands? This is Shevan Daniel, leader of the Gum at the movement.
Due to the disaster, we know that our farmers suffered a massive catastrophe. When a farm is destroyed, it cannot be restored to normalcy in a day or two or a week or two. None of us are giving up. That is why, no matter how exhausting it felt or even if 8 months have passed, today we felt it necessary to launch a project to serve those farming families affected by the disaster. Therefore, as a media network, beyond broadcasting programs on our screens, Gum at the expects to continue to strengthen that journey towards progress by joining hands with the people of our country. Everything we do is for the people and with the people. Therefore, we hope to achieve a future where we say, let's do it, rather than let's see.
Alongside the distribution of equipment today to those who received training yesterday under Gum at the Rebuild initiative, basic knowledge on how to use that equipment was also provided. A workshop on the use of social media to develop their professions was also held today.
ආපදා වෙලා ගොඩක් කියන්නේ කරදරවලට පත් වෙලා දැන් මේ ඉන්න වෙලාවේ මේ වගේ සත්කාරයක් කරපු එක ගොඩක් අපේ වැඩ කටයුතු කරගන්න මේ ගොඩක් ප්‍රයෝජනවත් වෙනවා.
දුප්පත් මිනිස්සුන්ට මේ වගේ වැඩක් කරනවා කියන්නේ ඒක කියලා නිම කරගන්න බැරි දෙයක්. මට නම් හරිම සන්තෝෂයි අද.
Let's protect each other. Let's rise together. Gum at the, for the people, by the people.
Now, a boat training program organized by the Sri Lanka Life Saving Association was held in Colombo today. Gum at the provided partnership and support for this initiative.
The training program was organized in view of World Drowning Prevention Day, which falls today. A group including the Chief Executive Officer of the Sri Lanka Life Saving Association, Asanka Nanayakara, participated in the event. Members of the Gum at the Emergency Rescue and Relief Team also joined this training program.
Good night. And on that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Primetime News.
Thank you for watching.
Take care, good night, and God bless you.